It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Singing is not my gift. My sister got all the good singing skills in our family. Perhaps I will play a little song of hers one of these days. Welcome, Periscope. Hello. How are you all? Over on Facebook, all right, there's the crew. I see 30, 60 people popping in live. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in our beautiful world. Jackie, Isabella, Jenny, hi guys. Can you hear me okay? See me okay? We're good to go. Give me a quick, yeah, I can hear you, I can see you. Good morning, Jennifer. Hi, Christine, you love my getup. I'm gonna explain what this is all about. Well, this is obvious. I wear toques. There's my Canadian giveaway. I wear toques like every day in the winter. I love wearing them as I work. I love wearing them as I sleep. I love wearing them as I shop because you can just leave the house with like hair, whatever situation. Hi, Kaylee, Jackie, Jennifer. So good to have you guys. And I'm pumped to go through the topic today because it's going to be really helpful. Based on this time of year. At the time of this recording, we are at November 22nd, 2017. If you live in Canada like I do, we are heading into winter, right? Like winter season technically is already upon us. Here in London, Ontario, we have a little bit of snow on the ground. Just came home from Colorado last night where they had, some snow there as well. So if you live somewhere seasonal, this podcast, this broadcast is going to really serve you today. So I'm excited you're here. So just a few quick things before we go into today's topic. Number one, how many of you are riding the high of BOGO week right now? Buy one, get one free with doTERRA. They do these 2 to 3 times a year. And it's bananas this week. There have been incredible BOGOs. I see a lot of people tapping on Periscope. All the hearts are coming up. This is one of those weeks in the land of doTERRA where it's just like, oh my gosh, it's a frenzy because there's just so many good deals going on. It's when a lot of people actually do end up getting started with essential oils because everyone's motivated by different things, right, guys? Some people have had a real wake-up call in their life, so they are seeking natural tools like essential oils, and they're ready to make those, changes in their life to live healthier and happier. Some people need a sale to actually get them into action. This might be some of you. Maybe you're brand new to using the oils because you were prompted into action because there's so many good deals this week. So I'm sorry if you're listening to this as a recording tomorrow or in December or in 2020. But today, November 22nd, the BOGO, you guys, is pretty off the hook. It features 2 of my favorite oils right now. So the deal is buy a Holiday Joy blend. How many of you have this already? It just smells how Christmas feels. Does that make sense? Like it gives you all the feels that you're looking for at this time of year. And for those of you that don't celebrate Christmas, we'll go with holiday going forward here. So Holiday Joy blend, if you buy one today, you get a free Arbor Vitae, the Tree of Life oil, sourced in our very own Canada, okay? Comes from BC, the Tree of Life. So these oils are incredible. I'm going to talk about this one today for how it supports the immune system, but you're going to want to jump on this. Now in Canada, you guys, the BOGO has been selling out by noon. So at the time of this recording, I haven't even had a time to check, but this might already be sold out. Hop on it. If you're in Canada, you can probably still order from the US warehouse up until later today, unless it sells out there as well. So you can buy up to 5, okay, per account, just so you know. And Canadians, you have it actually even better because you can order from both warehouses, up to 5 from both. So I know a lot of people are doing that because they want to stock up on those oils. And one last thing I'll mention, my assistant Jill will post the link. For those of you that aren't already working with somebody, if I've been the one guiding you in essential oils and you want to jump on the BOGO deals this week, just check out my link. She'll post it there for you. It's basically a bit.ly/HF get started. And you can actually join doTERRA with a wholesale account and get the BOGO oils today. The kits, also the enrollment kits, the majority of the kits, you guys, are 20% off. So what a lot of people are doing is they're starting with a starter kit and they're adding the BOGO. to their cart at 25% off. So message me if you're not already working with somebody. Chances are if there's somebody that's been guiding you, they're going to have some sort of a group going on this week where they're highlighting the BOGOs. I know I do. I have an exclusive group where we're talking about the BOGOs and educating every day. So just message that person or myself if you want to get started. But enough about that. I'm headed to Niagara region this weekend to visit family, and I'll be doing several classes there. Actually, my mom is now building doTERRA. She's going to be a silver leader this month, which is pretty cool. So you know what? Family is always the last to come on board, yeah? 4 years later, my mom's like, you know what? I love my oils. I want to share them. And so we're doing some classes this weekend together. So we have one in Fonthill on Saturday and then Stony Creek on Sunday. Isn't that a cute name? We probably have a couple spots open if you're not already using doTERRA and you want to come learn. So just shoot me a message and I'll give you the info. Okay, the last thing I wanted to mention is there will be no live broadcast next week. So if you're, somebody who plans it in your calendar, just know there won't be a live one next week. I'll be at a Canadian summit with a lot of our high-level leaders next week. Okay, so I'll be back December the 6th. That's correct. Okay, so today's topic was prompted from a question from the community. The question was as follows. Hey, Ange, I have 2 kids aged 5 and 7, and last winter I swear we were all sick the entire time, or at least one of us was any given week of the entire winter last year. I feel like we're pretty healthy, but I'm desperate to know what you do in your home that keeps you all so healthy. 1 sec here, got a phone call. Might have lost Periscope for a second there. Okay, so here's what I want to do with this topic because it's really great timing for it. And I have an arsenal of tools that I use for wellness in our home. And I'm going to break this down for you guys. I'm going to take 30 minutes today, okay? And we're going to keep the entire conversation focused around winter wellness. So please keep questions on other topics for another day. But I'm going to break this down really simple, and here's why. The key to making behavioral changes in your life, no matter what you want to do, is to shrink down the amount of info that you're thinking about, shrink down the amount of steps that are required in order to achieve the goal. I talk about this all the time. It doesn't matter what you're looking to change in your life. You have to make it clear and concise and have a plan and give it enough time to get traction. Don't quit on your routines after 2 days if you feel like they're not working. You have to give things time. I talk about this with my wellness business team all the time. This is the fundamental pillar of success, you guys. I mean, the people who are making 6 and 7 figures next year, they have their head down, doing the work, doing the daily things right now that other people aren't. And that's why they're successful next year. Nobody just wakes up as a success, right? There's a lot of things you have to have as a routine and be intentional. So I want to encourage you to think about the routine in your home right now. If someone was to ask you, what's your routine through the winter to create a healthier, happier home? If you can't answer that, then let's dive into this today, okay? Because you have to be able to say, well, this is what we do. We do these few simple things every day through the winter, and it helps us to stay healthy. If you can't answer that for somebody, then you need to stay on the broadcast today. Okay, so I'm going to go through the top 5, you guys. The top 5 areas you want to focus on for having a ninja immune system. Okay? Who's interested in that? It's important. Your immune system, it works very hard for you every single day, but there are probably things that you're not even realizing that you could be doing to boost it even more. So I have an entire kit next to me here I want to go through right now. Okay, let me just separate this so it's nice and clear. So number 1, I want to talk about supplementation, because this is a common question people have. What are some simple things I can do supplement-wise just to have a good baseline in place? So number 1 is obviously some sort of a foundation. I highly recommend doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack. How many of you use this right now? Give me a quick tap on the screen on Periscope or comment in the comments. What has been your experience using these? Because supplementation there's psychology within it. I mean, there is in everything we do, obviously. But I find that people who supplement, they are the type of people that actually feel they are worth being healthier and happier. They're literally every day investing in the human that they are 2 weeks from now. Okay, so I want you to think about that for a second as to why you might not be supplementing right now. It actually might come down to you not feeling like you are worth being healthier. You with me? Think about the very act of taking supplements. It's not sexy, it's not instant, but it works and it creates a very healthy baseline. A lot of you are commenting over on Facebook and Periscope, you can't live without this pack, right? This just came into the Canadian warehouse for all of our Canadian friends, and I'll mention something in a moment that we do on our team to just like do a good community push around this twice a year. So I'll get to that in a moment. But have some sort of a baseline, okay? The reason that doTERRA's is so popular and unique is because it's 3 separate supplements that you're taking. So you're getting your multi, which is going to provide the whole bouquet of minerals and vitamins that you need, whole food sources. Then you're getting a mix of plant and marine omega-3s. And then you're getting the alpha CRS, which is your antioxidants. I mean, ultimately, what this is doing is it's boosting all of your systems, but it's creating more energy in your body as well. Clean cycles, right? So a multivitamin doesn't matter if it's not being absorbed and utilized properly, right? So you really want to pay attention to what you're putting in your body. Don't waste your money. If your P is neon, time to move on to LLV, okay? Okay, the second thing I want to mention is vitamin D3 with a K2 mixed into it. So vitamin D3, yes, I would use this while pregnant. Of course, talk to your OB or your midwife. Always run things by them because pregnancy is unique in that you don't want to start something brand new that you weren't taking before reviewing it with your doctor, right? With everything when you're pregnant. So these are phenomenal, but yes, review these with, and I mean, so many women take these through pregnancy. These will be much, much better than your store-bought prenatals, you guys. However, just review it with your doctor. Gotta say that. Okay, so back to vitamin D. So vitamin D, yeah, it's a fat-soluble vitamin, but it actually acts more like a hormone in the body. Your body has thousands of receptors for vitamin D uptake, so it's involved in so many processes in the body. Now, what happens if you live in a seasonal area of the world like me, right? You're actually not getting your body's preferred connection to vitamin D, which is through the sun. And for those of you that are still using sunblock every single day, you might want to rethink that, because especially if you live in seasonal climates, I'll get to that, Jen, what brand I use. Unless you live in seasonal climates, unless you don't live in a seasonal climate. So if you can go out in a bathing suit any day of the week, you might not have to worry about this too much because you're probably getting some really good vitamin D the way it was intended for you to receive it, which is through the sun. And you want to have about 20 minutes of time with the sun on unblocked skin, you guys, okay, in order for ultimate absorption to happen to vitamin D. Now, if you live in a seasonal area of the world like myself, you're going to need a supplement. So the brand that I use, that we use in our home, is Thorne brand. It's a blend of vitamin D3 and K2. So this specific one here, okay, you can see the brand Thorne. There are several that you can purchase. You can purchase just a straight up D3, but the K2 is important for helping again with the bioavailability of it. So here's what we personally do in our home. Now I take about 4,000 to 5,000 IUs of D3 daily. So, you know, I mean, hey, the recommendations for the dosage of D is typically way too low, because we know that if we're out in the sun for 20 minutes, we're getting like 20,000, right? However, thank you. Jill just posted the link to this Thorne brand. So you want to kind of work with 1,000 IUs for every 25 pounds that you weigh. Okay, that's going to give you a really strong baseline. There's a small amount of D in the LLV, but not enough through the winter. Someone just asked that on Periscope. Okay, so again, ideally you're going to find one that's D3. That's going to be the best version, better than just straight up D drops. And you want to find one that has a combination of K2. Okay. So we take that daily, so do the kids. Sometimes I'll get the ones that have like an orange flavor, or I'll add a couple of drops of tangerine or doTERRA's wild orange to this, okay, to flavor that. So it's a little bonus tip for you. The next thing I want to talk about is vitamin C. So, and Jill, if you want to hunt down the link for this, I don't think I sent it to you. This is by Live On Labs, okay? The brand that we use is Lipospheric Vitamin C. It comes in I'll show you what it looks like. It comes in a little gel packet, okay? And each packet contains 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, but the most important thing, the Emergency brand, for example, not good, okay? It has a lot of, it has like fake sugars in it. This is not yummy. So what we do in our home is when we feel like we might be getting run down, we will take a shot of this with some kombucha. So I'll make little shots for the kids. You can even use like an organic juice. And then you actually don't taste it at all. You could use like 2 tablespoons of a base like kombucha or an organic juice, low sugar juice, and mix this packet into a little shot glass and throw it back. And the key with vitamin C, you guys, is the research is showing that it doesn't really prevent you from getting sick. But when you are getting run down, your body's going to demand more vitamin C than usual. You'll notice that you're craving lemon juice or citrus fruits, or different vegetables, red peppers, things like that are going to boost that in the body. However, this is good to have in your home if you feel like you're getting run down. Like I said, you could do a little shot like that, and that is what I recommend. Most vitamin C, supplements you're going to find at the store are not going to absorb. And vitamin C is a water soluble, okay? So you'll actually pee it out, but you don't need fats for it to absorb. Robin, I just want to share with you guys what she commented on Facebook. She says, I've been sitting on a vitamin D panel with the MS Society of Canada as they write layman's terms for MS patients and for those at risk. It's so important for staying off the autoimmune spectrum. Yeah, like I said earlier, you guys, vitamin D, there's still so much to understand about why there are so many receptors in the body looking for vitamin D. So if we're short in it, it can affect so many things, okay, such as autoimmune disease. There's just a lot of different deficiencies that can show up if you're not supplementing through the winter, if you're not getting outside. Okay, let's talk about probiotics. So I assume most of you have heard of probiotics before. They're kind of all the talk today, right? Because we're starting to understand more about the connection between gut health and overall health, right? So I don't know if you knew this, but our gut actually makes up 80% of our immune system. So it's really important that we are supplementing and including fermented foods in our diet so that there's more of a healthy balance of flora in our body. You're always going to have exposure to harmful bacteria. Your body is very prepared to deal with it unless there's an abundance of unhealthy bacteria in your body and it can't process it properly. You are more bacteria than you are cells. There is so much research happening right now around gut health. So especially in the winter, it's really smart to be supplementing with probiotics, and you want to really alternate your strains. So one of the things that I recommend is you find a good probiotic that has a substantial amount of CFUs in it. So you're looking for something that's into the billions, okay? And I'll talk about what we use in our home in a moment. But it's also really smart to alternate the strains that you're getting so that your body doesn't become too used to those, especially if you're not having fermented foods. So the probiotics that we use in our home are by doTERRA. So they make a PB Assist, you guys, which has 6 different probiotic strains in it. It has 6 billion CFUs. But what makes it really unique is that it also has, it's double encapsulated, right? So that it can make it past your stomach into the intestines where it needs to be. But it actually also has chlorophyll in it, which serves as a prebiotic, which is like the meal for the bacteria, right? So it helps keep it alive, and it's shelf stable because of the way that it's encapsulated. It doesn't need to stay in the fridge. Most powders that you'll buy at the store would, because they're not encapsulated properly. They're very vulnerable. In fact, if you're buying a powder form of probiotic at the health food store and it's not in the fridge, chances are all of those bacteria are dead by the time you take it, okay? So it's really important that it's something that is being absorbed in the right place of your body and that you're getting a substantial amount of CFUs. Now, doTERRA also has this in a kid's version, but be honest, how many of you are adults taking this? Because it's like delicious. This is the treat that I give my kids every day. And typically what I'll do is I'll either pack it in their lunch for them. I'll snip it first and clip it, or they'll have it at nighttime after dinner. So the important thing here is that you know that as an adult, you could actually alternate these. So you're getting a treat sometimes as well, because these do actually have different strains. I don't know if you guys knew that if you're using doTERRA, but really smart to do that. You want to supplement. I mean, to be honest, through the winter, I take these daily. If I'm not having a lot of fermented foods. Now, sometimes it's good to give your body a break from different supplemental forms of probiotics. So you might go 30 days on, 30 days off, if you're doing a good job around your food. Now, some examples of fermented foods, some that I love in the winter, sauerkraut. You can buy organic sauerkraut at the health food store. It's phenomenal. I'll talk more about the foods in a moment as one of the top 5 things. But fermented foods, I mean, you can find tempeh, miso, kimchi, kefir, kombucha. There's a lot of different forms of it out there, but my personal fave in the winter is sauerkraut. And I'll talk about my favorite brand when I get to the foods. So the last thing I wanted to mention around supplementation, doTERRA also has an incredible protective blend, OnGuard Softgels. The reason I love this as opposed to just using the OnGuard Immune Roller, which we'll talk about when we get to oils, is because this soft gel has the same oils that the OnGuard has in it, but it also has melissa and black pepper, which are like heavyweight oils for the immune system. So again, when you're starting to feel run down, I take 1 or 2 of these if I'm starting to feel run down in addition to the vitamin C, and I typically knock out that feeling pretty fast, you guys. I have to be careful how I talk about this. I have to be, compliant, right? But you will notice that your body works with it really well if it's starting to get run down. And I always travel with these. They're brilliant. With my kids, I will simply crack open one of the soft gels and massage it into their feet with a little coconut oil. If your child is older than 8, I would say they'll be good to go taking one of these internally, only if they're getting really run down. I mean, it's a powerhouse. Okay, section 2, let's talk about oils. So the first thing I want to mention, if you want to look up a lot of the images that I've shared over the last few years on how to boost your immune system using oils, just search the hashtag, search the hashtag WholeFitImmune. So if you go to Instagram and search WholeFitImmune as a hashtag, it'll pull up a variety of posts I've done that you'll find really helpful. You'll want to bookmark them. You might want to print them and keep them in your kitchen because they're the most popular approaches I've recommended over the years for when you are feeling run down. Okay, so, and I'll share a few of those in just a moment. Here are my top 3 shares when it comes to oils. So to keep it really simple, I mean, there are a lot of different oils you could use to support your immune system through the winter. Just get OnGuard in your house because OnGuard is going to be that master blend. It was created basically with this perfect synergy of the top oils, okay, to support a healthy immune system. So just diffuse OnGuard every single day, either right after school or before bed. So 3 drops in the diffuser, maybe 4 if it's a larger room. And diffuse that every single day. Make that your blueprint, that every day after school when the kids come home or before bedtime, that's what goes in the diffuser because it's going to help clean the air. It's going to boost your body's response and strengthen your immune system, okay? So that's really simple to integrate. Megan, the kids' powdered one does not need to be refrigerated. I didn't mention this, just back to the probiotic real quick. The PB Assist Junior is also microencapsulated. So you'll notice it's a powder, but if you had it under a microscope, it's actually encapsulated to make it past the stomach lining. Super unique product, you guys, because of that. So it does not need to be refrigerated. Okay, so back to oils. OnGuard every day. You want to do this through the winter every single day. Don't overwhelm yourself and have 500 different things you're diffusing every day. Keep it simple. Support your healthy bodies. Diffuse it every day after school. A couple of other things I want to mention. OnGuard is also, I mean, an entire lineup, you guys. You're probably aware of this if you're using doTERRA already. The roller bottle will be one of the most popular things you'll use in your home through the winter. So what I do with the kids is I'll either roll it, we actually do a W like Wonder Woman on the back of their neck or the front of their neck if they're feeling like they've got a little bit of a sore throat coming on. or bottoms of the feet. We'll just do a quick swipe up and down on both feet. I'll take their feet and I'll rub them together, and then we put socks on. And I do that every single day, either in the morning before school or at night before bed. Just super protective. Now, the OnGuard line, as I mentioned, there's a lot of things in the OnGuard line because it's the most popular blend doTERRA has. So there's laundry detergent, there's foaming hand wash, there's the cleaning concentrate, there's toothpaste, there's the soft gels, like I mentioned, there's the new hand sanitizing spray, which is brilliant. But the two that I want to highlight today for just consistent exposure to this protective blend would be toothpaste. My kids use this and love it. They've been using it since they were little. It was the very first toothpaste I started them on. Don't start your kid. I mean, it's great if you're using a no fluoride toothpaste. I'm all in on that. But don't get ones that have all these sugars in it to sweeten it. That's like, what in the world? Why are people making toothpaste that are sweet with sugar just because they don't have fluoride and they're healthy? You got to check those ingredients. So I love the OnGuard one. The toothpaste is brilliant. Have your kids use this twice a day. They're going to get not only the OnGuard blend in it, but they're going to also have xylitol in this. So xylitol is one of the only sugar substitutes that's actually healthy for teeth, for enamel, and preventing tooth decay. So brilliant right there. The second one I want to highlight is the foaming hand wash. Time to get rid of the Bath and Body Works and etc. fragrance-filled, triclosan-filled, life-killing soaps. Literally, when you have something that has, oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Not antibiotic. My mind is not coming with it. But when you're using something, all I can think of is antibiotic or antiperspirant. Help me out. What are these? They're killing your good bacteria, like antibacterial. Thank you. Why couldn't I come up with that? Probably because I don't say that word too often when we're talking about oils. But anything that's antibacterial, the very definition of that is anti-life. Okay, it's killing off. Anti is killing. Pro is for, right? So probiotics are for life. Anti is not for life. It's killing life. So you want to stay away from those, you guys. It is time. Like, you have access to all the information you need today in order to make better decisions. There's no reason why you should be using fragrance-filled antibacterial hand soaps in your home anymore. We know these are harmful, and even the FDA actually started to ban triclosan from these products last year. So not that we depend on the FDA to make us healthy. That's not their job, but a lot of people are waking up to the danger of these products. But they're still in your toothpaste. If you're buying standard toothpaste at the store, you want to check that. So the OnGuard foaming hand wash is incredible. So good, especially if you have little people in your house. doTERRA sells these as a pack. When you're first getting started, you can purchase the 2 foaming pumps and the soap, which you pour into these. Now, you don't need to dilute it when you pour it in. Some people do. Some people will do like half of the OnGuard foaming soap, half water, and then they'll add some of their own favorite oils, like maybe a blend of peppermint and OnGuard or lemongrass, things that they want to create the aromatics of in their bathroom. But you don't need to dilute it, okay? So those are the 2 products I wanted to mention out of the OnGuard line. The last 2 things I want to mention when it comes to oils, very helpful things. Take some notes on these because you'll likely encounter these situations throughout the winter. So number 1, if you need to support breathing, respiratory health, let's say you have some sort of a cough, I want to recommend you try doing a breathing tent using your oils. So, and again, I have these up on Instagram. So what you'll do, this is for adults, by the way, not kids. You would cut this in half or even less if you're using it on kids. But for adults, you're going to take a little pool of coconut oil in your hand. So maybe like 2 teaspoons in your hand, fractionated coconut oil. And to that, you're going to add 2 drops each of rosemary, lime, and peppermint. It's like the ultimate combo for supporting respiratory health. Rub them together, coat your throat and your chest, and then take your shirt up over your head and breathe. You will not believe how effective this is for just rest. Like it is intense. It'll clear everything up. I got a little rundown last month, which is how I discovered this, and I just shared it on Instagram, and so many people were commenting like, wow, I can't believe that worked so well, right? So make sure you write that one down. The second one I want to share is a recipe I call inhale, the deep inhale, okay? Yes, you're inhaling, but it's healing. So what you do is you get a mug, and in that mug, you're not going to be drinking this. You're going to be breathing it in. In the bottom of that mug, you're going to put 2 drops each of lemon, oregano, tea tree oil, and peppermint. Now, don't get your nose right up into that right away. And even when you add the next step, which is hot water up to the top of that mug, don't get your face too close to it right away. The vapors, the aromatics of this blend are going to like knock you out, okay? Really intense. But what you want to do is give it like 30 seconds just for some of the aromatics to infuse the air. And then you're going to basically come down over the mug and breathe in. Some people, if they're like pro, they'll take a dish towel and put it over their head and just breathe in. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to like clear you out. So if you, have Kleenex right beside you, get ready, because you're basically going to breathe in really deep and blow out, because it's going to just clear everything up. So I wanted to share those 2 things with you because you'll probably be needing them this winter. Okay, so next category is sleep. And then we've got 2 more to talk about. So daylight savings time hits a lot of us a couple weeks ago, right? So this is actually a nightmare for our circadian rhythm. And if you have kids, you can see how the combination of daylight savings time right around Halloween weekend is like, hello, cold and flu season. Welcome to our home, right? Like it's just not a good timing. Daylight savings, there's a lot of thoughts on that it really shouldn't even be happening anymore. I'm not going to get into that on this show right now, but anyway, sleep is so important through the winter time, and we need to go with nature when it comes to sleep. So the important thing is that you are limiting your exposure to light, to harmful lights, especially as well, which brings me to why I'm wearing these glasses today, just for fun on this broadcast. But actually, I'm doing a favor for my immune system, because I am staring at screens right now, which is like dirty light. Okay, so I'll talk about these in just a moment, but a couple things I want to share around promoting healthier sleep, because I know a lot of you struggle with this, right? Sleep, pain management, and emotional health are like the top 3 things people are desperately seeking help with today. And there are a lot of things you can do, but I want to narrow it down to just a couple of tips that I know will help you sleep better at night. So number 1, you want to limit the amount of carbohydrates and sugars that you're having before bed. Especially after dinner. So even if your dinner does have carbohydrates in it, obviously most of us would, you don't want to be eating it within 2 hours of going to bed. So if you are somebody who's eating your dinners really late at night, you need to be even more intentional about eating something that's going to digest nicely and not sit in your stomach really heavy if you're going to bed the night, like within an hour. So limit the amount of carbs and sugars a couple hours before bed. No caffeine after 2 o'clock. Focus on herbals, caffeine-free. I love teas like rooibos, tulsi. I love chaga tea. I've talked about that on YouTube before, how I make that in a crock pot. That also lends immune support to your body. Chaga tea. Okay, what else do I want to share? Diffusing before bedtime. Start the diffusers up about 30 minutes before bed, you guys, so that the aromatics are in the room when you're about to go to sleep. This is what I do with the kids. When they're in the bath, I go in their rooms, pour some water in their diffusers, fire them up. Our favorite blend at night is Serenity, but in the winter, I actually love to add Arbor Vitae to it. It smells dreamy, and Arbor Vitae is an oil that helps really support the immune system. Think about if an oil is coming from what is known as the tree of life, one of the longest living trees, okay? Trees are always going to lend structure and strength and balance and grounding to our body. The very nature of a tree is to do that, right? So think about what the oil is going to lend to your body. The tree oils are always going to be very anchoring. This is why we've talked about cedarwood before for promoting great sleep. Cedarwood is in the Serenity blend as well. So this is the combo I do often through the winter for the kids. I'll do 2 drops of each in their diffuser 30 minutes before they go to bed. Brilliant. And I mean, if you're not diffusing oils before bed, you're super missing out. This is like the entry point for a lot of people when they start to use pure essential oils. Will just be diffusing. That's like all they'll do in the beginning. So sleep is an area that can be extremely benefited when it comes to using oils. The powerhouse oil to use for sleep, though, you guys, if you're really having a hard time, would be vetiver. Vetiver is thick and syrupy. It'll take you like 5 minutes to pour a drop out of the bottle, just so you know. But what you'll do, and a lot of people don't love the smell of true vetiver. Vetiver, just so you know, the synthetic version of vetiver is used massively in the fragrance industry. But real vetiver, and doTERRA sources their vetiver from Haiti. Look it up on YouTube even. The sourcing of vetiver that doTERRA does through their co-impact sourcing, it is so beautiful. You need to look up that video. Hi, Donna. Like my leg glasses. So anyway, vetiver is going to be that powerhouse for sleep. So put it on the bottoms of your feet and then roll up your socks. A lot of people don't love the smell of it. And if you have someone next to you in bed, they probably will kick you out if you are coating yourself in vetiver until you start to have better sleep. Because you know what happens? Some of you are mentioning that you love vetiver. So like Katie, I love the smell of vetiver. Megan, same as well. Part of the reason that you're loving it now is because of how it is supporting your body in such a beautiful way. Your body starts to respond and it starts to communicate with you that this is good. Give me the vetiver, okay? Jennifer says she loves vetiver that smells like Aveda hair products. Nice. Okay, so those are my recommendations of oils for sleep. The next thing I would say is have a bath. You know, I'd love to give you full permission to have more baths through the week, especially in the winter. Dry skin brush first. We've talked about that on previous episodes. Dry skin brush first. Add a good solid cup of fragrance-free Epsom salts to your bath, and then take. You want to kind of dilute the oils you're going to use in your bath a little bit so they don't sit on the top layer. So either use doTERRA's body wash. The natural body wash is a nice base because it'll also give you some bubbles in the tub. But you can either add a couple of drops of whatever oil you want to use to that, or just a little pool of coconut oil in your hand. My favorite oils for the bath are juniper berry and lavender. Lavender is just a very commonly known one for promoting relaxation and deeper sleep. So I like to do 4 drops total. And again, juniper berry is going to lend detoxification support as well. It's one of the oils that we use for that. So that's what I like to do a couple nights a week. My kids have a bath every night. We don't use any soap. And what we'll do is I'll do like half a cup of Epsom salts, a couple drops of lavender, and then I'll squeeze a little bit of the body wash in there. So that would be like the soap. But water is very cleansing for your body. You don't want to strip too much. Okay, the last thing I want to mention when it comes to sleep, this is why I'm wearing the glasses. So if you saw my Instagram yesterday, Chloe and I were coming home from a trip to Colorado, and I had these on in the picture, and so many people were like, where are those glasses from? Well, they're not prescription, okay? They don't actually help me see, but if, you might notice a little bit, I have no idea why my printer is printing right now. It's kind of weird. You'll notice they have a little bit of a yellow tinge to them. What these are actually doing is they are blocking out the blue light from screens. So they estimate that when you wear glasses like this, it's going to block about 40% of the rays. So this brand that I had on, sorry, not of the rays, of the blue light from LED screens. Okay, so this brand here that I'm using is by a brand called C Concept, S-E-E Concept. I have a couple of pairs, okay? You might have seen these on me before. These are by Gunner brand, and these actually show the yellow a little bit better. So these are typically gaming glasses for the gamers, but Gunner brand is fun because they're pink, One other brand I want to recommend is True Dark. And they actually have a couple of different types of glasses. They have ones that block out the full spectrum and not just the blue light. But the reason I'm sharing this, you guys, is because a lot of us find ourselves watching TV or watching the screen on our laptop or computers. Some of you might be creatives like me and you love to stay up a little bit later sometimes doing your best work. You want to invest in a pair of this, right? Cool. Megan says she has purple Gunners. She's a gamer girl. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so check those out if you aren't using them. I'll keep these on for the remainder of the show just for your viewing pleasure. Okay, man, I gotta get going. Okay, we got 2 more to talk about. Food. Okay, food is super important when it comes to supporting your immune system through the winter. So number 1, I want you to remember that sugar equals suppression of every system in the body. Sugar is the devil. It's very hard to avoid. There are agendas at work to make you addicted to it. In fact, the New York Times, and Jill, if you could post the link to this, The New York Times just ran an article this week. A new report shows that the sugar industry back in the 1960s actually invested in research to look into the health effects of sugar consumption. And when they didn't get the results they were looking for, they buried the data, you guys, because it was discovered how harmful, even back in the 60s, sugar was. And I'll tell you something, back in the 60s, it was nothing compared to what it is today and how much they're tucking sugar into literally every product. Like if you like yogurt, for example, just a small little cup of yogurt, if it's flavored, has typically more sugar than you should be getting in an entire day. Spaghetti sauce, ketchup, like very unlikely places sugar is hiding. So you may think, oh, I don't eat chocolate bars every single day, but you really need to look at your products today because unfortunately, nobody's protecting you at the grocery store. I mean, I think there's kind of an assumption for a lot of people that when they go to the grocery store, that somebody's got to be watchdogging this, right? It's like these products wouldn't be released to the shelves if they were going to kill me, right? Like this is kind of the thinking. So it's like, well, got to live a little, you know, I don't want to worry about all this stuff all the time. But if you're not actively looking at what you're eating on most days of the week, there's a good chance that there's a lot of sugar hiding in your products. So that is really number one. Is really watch the sugar intake. You want to be getting about 20 to 25 grams a day max. To be honest, that's 4 to 5 teaspoons. Like, don't add it to things that you shouldn't be adding it to. Don't add white sugar to your coffee and teas because it's already hiding in so many foods. If you love dark chocolate, great. Work it into your plan each day. Be very mindful of the sugar. Second tip I have for you is focus on your veggies and fats through the winter. So one of the most helpful things you can do to create and rig your kitchen in order for this kind of eating to happen is to commit to a couple of recipes each week. So one thing I recommend is make a healing veggie soup every single week. Jill's going to post the link to my top recipes I'm going to share with you right now. Make a soup that's loaded with veggies, especially the veggies that have sulfur. You want to get like onions in there and broccoli and like lots of good veggies, lots of the winter veggies, like pack it full because that's what your body's meant to be eating. Make sure there's garlic in there, add some turmeric. If you're not a vegan, the best way to consume a veggie soup or a veggie loaded soup through the winter would be to have a base of bone broth. So another recipe being shared with you right now is how we make bone broth in our home. Very good for your immune system. I have a lot of friends who actually, instead of having tea or coffee in the morning, they'll actually sip on warm bone broth, especially those that have had any kind of leaky gut, any kind of digestive issues. They're going to be absolutely looking at bone broth for the healing gelatin. So, you know, if you're making or buying an organic chicken, save the bones from that. And I know we've got some vegans on here who are like, ugh, but this is very healing and very supportive. So check out those recipes. If you want to make that great to use as a simmering base for your cooking, you know, try to have bone broth in your home. And some of you live in like some pretty healthy areas, and they might actually, like some coffee shops now are selling organic, grass-fed animal bone broth. Okay, all right, enough about that. I don't want to freak all the vegans out in the room. Okay, is there anything else I want to share on food? The last thing would be, you know, produce-wise, you want to think about what's in season. So if you're eating fruit, stick to things that are low sugar for sure. So you don't want to be eating melons and pineapple and bananas through the winter. You want to focus on organic apples. Organic berries would be a good choice as well because you're getting a lot of antioxidants. Okay, and then water intake is big. We always talk about water every time I do these wellness tip focused topics because water is going to be like the lubricator. It's going to help everything keep flowing. If you're properly hydrated, your systems can work better. So what I recommend you do, if you were going to add an essential oil to your water, you want to use stainless steel or glass, first of all. And my top oil through the winter is tangerine. Love, love, love it. High in limonene. I add 2 drops to this. You guys, and I know not all of you take oils internally. I have been for like 5 or 6 years now. Can't say enough about how well it supports the cleansing, the glowing skin. Just water intake is like, that's the trump card. So if you take nothing else around the intake, the food section of this talk, it has to be water intake. Okay, exercise is the last thing I want to talk about today. So if you think about what exercise actually does, it's going to help your heart pump better, your lungs become more efficient. It helps to stimulate the lymphatic system, which is basically your body's main way of detoxifying. So I want to give you like the top winter workouts to do, but here's the key when it comes to exercising. Always look at what you're doing when it comes to your health picture, and make sure that one thing you're doing is not costing you in other areas. So the thing is with exercise, for a lot of people, they treat it like an all or nothing thing, right? If they can't get to the gym for an hour, then they're not going to do it. Or they like punish themselves. If they didn't work out today, then they're going to eat like 2 pieces of chocolate cake tonight because they're like, well, I might as well because I didn't work out. So you want to really scrap this thinking, because anything you do to move your body, even right now, I'm standing as I do this broadcast because I know I'm going to be sitting for at least an hour after this on some calls, you know, where I need to be like really like dialed into my screen. So the thing is, like, I'm standing when I can. If I can fit in 15 to 20 minutes on a typical day, that's what I'm going to do. So the best winter workouts are the ones that are going to be shorter, but are going to be more efficient. So burst training or high intensity interval training, HIIT training, is really popular for people who commonly have that excuse that if I can't go to the gym for an hour, then I shouldn't do it. But guess what? Your immune system is actually loving it when you don't go to the gym for an hour. I'll tell you that, because if you're somebody who is training for a marathon or hitting CrossFit every day, you're likely sick quite a bit because your immune system takes that as a stress. So you want to be very efficient with your workouts, high intensity interval training. I actually recorded a couple workouts for you a couple years ago on WholeFit. If you search WholeFit HIIT training, you'll find it. I have a workout section, I think it's called Sweat, on wholefit.com, where I've got a whole bunch of workouts there that you can look at. And they're really with this approach in mind. Okay, so the top winter workouts. Burst training, like I mentioned, it'll be like 20 minutes, okay? Hot yoga is great. I love incorporating hot yoga once or twice a week through the winter. It's just so warming. And again, what this is going to do is it encourages the total health cycle, because if you're in a hot yoga class, you're not looking at your phone every 2 minutes. So you actually are able to connect more internally as well, right? Which is super important for your health. What else? Trampolining, rebounding, sometimes it'll be referred to as. So how fun is this? If you get a small rebounder in your home and jump on it for like 10 to 15 minutes, you are, having a great workout. It's actually pretty hard to do, but you're also boosting your body's lymphatic system. So because your body works on a pump with that, it runs vertically. So the more you're doing like jumping activities, even running encourages this as well. That's super healthy for you. So go get a rebounder in your home. Your kids will actually love it. We have one downstairs as well. So you can do that a couple times a week. An outdoor hike is the last thing I'll mention. Even when it's cold out, you guys, bundle up, go for a hike out in nature, get fresh air. Again, this is like a multiplier effect. If you're able to get outside and move your body and breathe in fresh air and connect to nature, you've just hit other check marks, okay? You want to get that fresh oxygen. I'm not a gym goer because I did for years. I did back when my kids were little, truthfully, because I needed just the daycare. But my preferred, I love to work out at home, number one, because I'm not going to waste time driving somewhere. I'm very my time is everything. So I don't go to the gym. I don't waste time doing that and driving somewhere. But I also just don't like the energy of a gym unless there's like a powerful community. Like I love the culture of CrossFit. And so that's hitting some other boxes. But get outside if you can, or have something in your home that's going to encourage you to like drop everything, put your runners on and go do something for 20 to 30 minutes. So you stop being the person that says that you don't exercise because you don't have an hour or an hour and a half. Okay. Okay. Last thing, bonus share. Bonus tip is dial up the joy. Okay. Think about this next month. So we're heading into December in about a week. I want you to really picture how you want to feel this month, because feeling joyful in your life, doing what you said you were going to do, being present with what you want to experience and how you want to live, This is the sauce of life. This is the juice. This is not how most people live. So I want you to really picture, what are some perfect moments you want to create this winter, this December? What does joy look like for you in your home? I mean, joy is a feeling right here. When you think about doing these things with the people that you love, it makes you just love your life. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, but I gotta do this, and I gotta see them, and I gotta go to this party, and I gotta blah, 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 all these things. Get rid of all those things. Maybe this is the year you stop saying yes to everybody and everything. Maybe this is the year you decide, you know what? If I can do things that actually create more joy in our home, I wonder what would happen. I wonder how much healthier we would be, how much happier we would be. I wonder if I might teach people in my life how to say no as well. Wouldn't that be cool? You guys, this is this time of year, there are so many expectations on people. What if you cleared your calendar more and just could be present, right? I was just in Colorado with Chloe for 5 days, and you know what? We had such a blast because I did a few things every day, just the basics of within the work that I do. We've got these BOGOs going on, and so I got that info out there in the morning, and then I shut everything down, and we just we hung out, and we created those perfect moments together. And yes, I came home to a nightmare inbox, nightmare notifications everywhere. But you know what? I'm over that. I don't care anymore. The world is very loud. And if you cannot, this all comes into the self-care conversation. If you cannot learn to drop that pressure you're putting on yourself to be everything to everybody, you're going to be 90 before you know it. And what will it have all been for anyway? The people who are clouding up your inbox and your notifications constantly, maybe you need to teach them to be more resourceful by not even replying. Guess what? People will always figure it out. And I'm that kind of person. I rarely reach out to somebody else with a question just because that's who I am. I've trained myself to take ownership, to be an entrepreneur over the last decade, to be resourceful. Okay. The reality is a lot of people are just looking for someone else to fix their problems. And you got to know what's going on and give your time to people if they absolutely need it. But do not be that person to people that just says yes to everything. Because at the end of the day, it just affects everything for you. It affects your health. It affects your connection to your spirit. It affects your success. It affects your family. And I just feel like this is truly the bonus tip because it's the most important one. So just to circle back on this, have a clear vision of what you want this December, if you will, to feel like. What smells do you want coming out of your kitchen? What kind of things do you want to experience with your family? What do your evenings look like? What's your routine? What oils do you diffuse when they come home from school? Are you sitting around the table more? Are you going to, as a family, give your time to those that don't have what you do? Schedule that into your calendar. Make that your priority. Get rid of the parties, okay? Do you know what everybody wants? Everybody wants what we're talking about right now. But everybody thinks they've got to do all these things that everyone else is doing. Everyone thinks they've got to host the parties and go to the parties. And what if that all came off the calendar? Honestly, unless that super fulfills you, then keep it on. But what movies are you watching? What music are you listening to as your family's hanging out? I'm so big on this, you guys. In the US, if you guys are celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend, I have a post I did for the Canadian Thanksgiving last month where I shared, some things like what we eat, what we listen to, what we're smelling, what we're doing this Thanksgiving. I'm going to do another one for Christmas or for holidays because it's my favorite thing now is, it's one thing to plan things into our calendar and live with intention. But what I really am fascinated by is how we can anchor that as a memory. I do that through music and I do it through oils because there's nothing more powerful than the smell, the aromatics connecting our memory. You have organs, not just your nose, you have organs that actually have smell receptors on them. Why is that? Because your sense of smell is your most powerful sense. It connects you instantly. I've shared this before. Those of you that know me, you know that I've shared before that my dad, for example, he passed away when I was 10 years old. And to this day, when I smell the cologne that my dad wore, I fall to my knees. Like if a man walks by me with the cologne that he wore, I'm like a mess, because the sense of smell is so powerful to our memories. And so as you're planning how you want to feel, how you want to experience this winter, I'd encourage you to think about how you can anchor that experience and create those perfect moments that are anchored for the rest of your life. When you do this, when you honor your time, when you start saying no to all the stupid things that are in your calendar right now, we all have them. I still have a few I need to scrap. Do it, because you know what? You're going to teach other people, but you're going to show up in your life as an inspired, joyful, passion-filled parent, friend, mother, wife, leader. The whole thing is affected by how you feel in your daily life. So this whole topic today that I thought would go 30 minutes and we went an hour, it's really important, because if you have a blueprint for how you're planning to live, and the cool thing is you can change this seasonally. How fun is that? If you live somewhere like Canada, I'd encourage you to be grateful for winter, because it gives us the opportunity to shift things up every 4 months. Be grateful for living somewhere seasonal. But you can change it up. You're in control. Let other people follow your lead. And I guarantee you, this is the juice. This is the juice. More abundance, more success, more health, more happiness. It will all come to you if you live intentionally. If you can now say to somebody, here's what we do to be well in our home. You know? So important. Whew. Okay, you know what? I got to hop on a call in like 1 minute, so I got to hop off with you guys. But so good to be with you. We'll get this uploaded. Thank you guys for your comments. Thank you for joining live. Thank you for staying on. I know your time is precious, and I appreciate you, and I love this time with you. I won't be on next week, but I'll be back first Wednesday of December. Okay? See you guys.